Alright, hello, my name is Marcus Mulder, and I'm going to be talking about the Lake Michigan beach that I visited over this week. And this beach has kind of been affected pretty greatly by the waves. And I don't know if you live by the coast or really go to beaches very often, but in the summer it was crazy high tides and um, out by the pier at the state park in Holland. The water was always like at the top of the pier. And it's kind of crazy how like you could see the high tides. So this is how the waves looked on that day. It was pretty windy and they were pretty significant. It was probably about a foot or two, like the tallest waves that I saw. So you can see this is like the waves. You can kind of see the sandbar. I hope you can see my cursor, but it's kind of where you can see that white, the white foam in the back, the wave that's like um, starting to form pretty far back, but you can see that it's a little bit brown over there. You can see the sandbar. Um, and this beach is affected by secondary interaction, which means it is a water and land like interaction. Instead of like wind moving the sand, it's the water that's actually hitting the sand and causing the beach's like coast to be brought into the waves, and the sand is falling because it's not stable enough to hold on its own, and the waves crashing against it consecutively is just not good for that sand to stay there. And it's threatening these houses over here. You can see these stairs on the right side. Um, and I kind of labeled it on here the winter berm and the summer berm. So right now it's kind of like the summer berm, it's turning into the winter berm, which you can see is kind of getting closer and closer to those bags on the right, which I'll talk about in a second. But the summer berm goes up pretty far, and you can see that there isn't much of a beach left. It's pretty, the water is coming in pretty closely to the shore, and it's causing the sand to be less and less each year, which is pretty sad to think about. So these sandbags, here is me next to those sandbags. They're pretty huge, but these are put in place to hold up the houses, and the sandhill, because the sandhill is weakened by the waves. As I talked about that winter berm, when the waves and the water get um, up higher and they go closer to this sandhill, they crash onto the shore and just weaken that sandhill. And this is also affected by the rain levels and high tide, which we definitely saw a lot of it this summer and spring. We saw lots of rain, which incredibly affected the lake. I remember going out to the beaches and seeing the super high tides on the pier and seeing like not much of the sand visible because the waves were so high and the waves were so being so crazy. So that is pretty much the end of this. I just wanted to talk about the sandbags and how the waves really do affect coasts and beaches, because lots of the beaches in Holland used to be way bigger than this, and now they're shrinking because of high tides, because of um, big wind levels, big waves, and it's destroying our land and it's making it very dangerous for the people living there. And yeah, it's just not good in general. So I hope you enjoyed. Anyways, yeah,